unshaming ourselves when, we have a plan, you have a financial plan, and then it gets blown up, and we go to plan B or C or D. And we have to recognize it's like, well, it's the new plan and not be hard on ourselves, not beat ourselves up, but just say, what can I do right now, today, in the situation I am in?
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
And we're back on Vivatude. I'm your host, Lauren Archer. My guest today is my co-host, Kate Phillips, and we are talking about financial wellness. And Kate, you were sharing about that almost dark night of the soul is what I would call it, when you found yourself in a dire straits. You had made investments. The investments were lost. Your father had a catastrophic health situation. You ended up moving him in with you, and your world completely changed. How did that affect you, and how did you turn yourself around? What were some of the strategies that you used to come back stronger than ever?
Yes. Well, I had been a realtor up until that time, even though at that point I had moved away from my area of real estate. So I had launched this coaching business, and it was the financial storm. It came through and it kind of wiped everything out, and I had to start from scratch. When everything gets wiped out, the storm comes through. Sometimes you've got to start rebuilding from the foundations again. And all of the things I had been teaching about the importance of mindset, I was like, oh, I get to live that now. Isn't this awesome? And so going back to just like gratitude, finding something to be grateful for every day, every moment, changing the focus from looking at the things I was afraid of to focusing on what I was wanting to create, taking long walks, grounding myself. I didn't know the language for it then, but now I would say it was a lot of nervous system work. How do we calm ourselves, ground ourselves, feel safe when it feels like things are falling apart? And I would just remind myself constantly, it's like, I'm safe, I'm here, I have a roof over my head, my lights are on, I have food in my refrigerator. And rather than most of our fears, they come from either regrets of the past and we're beating ourselves up, or we're afraid of what's going to happen in the future. But usually in the moment, things are often like, okay. So I started just recognizing it's like, okay, my credit score is in the toilet. It's just a number. It will recover. It did. I bought a home again and went through that. Another thing is unshaming ourselves when, we have a plan, you have a financial plan, and then it gets blown up, and we go to plan B or C or D. And we have to recognize it's like, well, it's the new plan, and not be hard on ourselves, not beat ourselves up, but just say, what can I do right now, today, in the situation I am in? And finally, I would say focus on opening ourselves up to receiving right now. If you are in a tough position, it could be around time, or and you need some help with a loved one. It could be financially, it could be that you just need some advice. Reach out for help to someone. It could be somebody on this show, it could be a trusted advisor, a friend, a family member. And receiving is not just about And it is also about asking for help and being willing to receive that, but it's also an energy. And so even opening up ourselves posture wise and notice what your posture is when we are hunched over, we get protective and we find ourselves in these postures. Open yourselves up, take that deep breath, recognize we're not afraid that we're going to run out of oxygen. You and I are not competing for oxygen in the world. We can receive that freely. We can receive compliments. We can practice receiving when someone says to us, "Can I help you with those groceries? Can I pick up the tab for lunch today? Can I come over and bring you something from my garden?" So often our first inclination is to, "Oh no, I'm fine," or "This old scarf, oh no." We want to reject when people, because we're so trained that it's so much more blessed to give than receive. Yes, it's very blessed to give. And the flip side of the coin, there would be no giving without receiving. So we bless someone else when we open ourselves up to receive their good help.
Oh, Kate, you are like a breath of fresh air. It is so inspiring to listen to you because, yes, it is much more than just doing the intellectual homework where many of us feel like deer in the headlights and we're afraid to do it. But it is the energetics, it is about our mindset, our beliefs, even our physical posture. So that is so refreshing. And I can see why people love working with you and love attending your classes. So stay with us. We're going to come back for one more segment with my guest, Kate Phillips, here on Vivatude.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, one each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.